Yeah, well, you know, Dave's the guy who made it. I mean, Dave's the guy who lived all the rock star dreams for all of us.
I'm the drummer. This week I've been the drummer, producer, engineered.
Well, he'd had a great career before he even came to Texas, and he played with us for about a year. And then when he left for Nashville, I never had any doubt that he'd have success. I mean, almost immediately he got some session work and did some touring, and he hooked up with an unsigned artist, and they got a record deal. And after that, it was, you know, tour buses and 20,000-seat arenas.
Bob and I met Dave Lemons in 1994. We had played with a lot of drummers in Dallas and set up some auditions, and Dave came in, and I think we played one song, and Bob and I kind of looked at each other and we said, Jesus, this is it. This is the guy.
Dave's a pro. I mean, he really is. He's very good at that recording process. He's very good at crafting a song. He thinks a lot more sort of big picture than a lot of guys who are playing their instruments. And so I think it's the difference between being a drummer and a musician. It seems clear in Dave where he's thinking about the dynamics of the song and how the songs build. And he's got that cold. It was nice to not have to talk about it much.
Playing with Dave Lemons, I've always said, is like strapping yourself onto a rocket ship. He's the booster engines and just this incredible drive and power, at the same time reserve, incredible musicianship. This is somebody that just has it in them, you know, has a sensibility about them of being able to play that loud and that hard, yet hear everything and add to, and knows when to lay out. And David represents the next level, the level that we all dream about getting to.
I starved for years. I can remember to this day, I can remember all my friends going off to college and I'm touring with a rock band. And I can remember my buddies saying, hey, you know, when are you going to get a real job? You know, and they're like working their junior executive jobs or whatever it is. And I never quit, never, you know, I truly believe people need to pursue their dreams and never let anybody tell you no. Eventually, I was one of the fortunate few who actually played with signed artists. I went out on tour for many years, and it was you know, kind of a blessing and a curse all at the same time. You know, I have a family. When I was home, I just couldn't wait to get out on the road. And when I got out on the road, I couldn't wait to get back home. I look back on my career and look back at some of the artists that I've played for, some of the musicians that I've done session work with. I feel truly blessed, I know that there are people that dream of, you know, playing the Grand Ole Opry, for example. You know, I played there a couple dozen times. I never really appreciated what it meant to play there till the first time I played there. And I played there with Hal Ketchum. And I walked off stage and I cried. And very intense.
I fly commercial airliners for a big airline and fly people around, and it's great, makes me happy. But the only thing that I felt that I was ever good at was playing music. And I feel like to some degree I've forsaken that God-given whatever talent, because really music has given me so much more in my life than aviation or a professional job would, and music gave me an identity when I needed one. Even though I've achieved a lot professionally, I feel to some degree like I failed, like I should have spent more time doing the thing that God gave me to be good at, and I've made people happy doing it, and I've made myself happiest doing it. But I turn my back on it, and I do feel like I owe music something, and I've not given it back yet.
I was playing bass in Steven's band, and I decided to quit. We put an ad in the paper for auditions, and Chris came out one night and sat in, and he was great. I mean, he was a monster, just an absolutely terrific player. So in a few months when we started talking about doing the Eddy band again, he was a logical choice.
and he just has a wonderful feel. He's got really good chops. In fact, kind of jealous of him because he's like, a pilot, bass player. Anything he touches is like gold. He's just one of these multi-talented people, but he's a great guy, great sense of humor.
As a kid, we used to play a place called Escapades. It was this dump in Jersey City, New Jersey, where I'm from. They had 6-7 bands a night. I mean, you would get up there, you'd play your hour, and you'd get off. And Wednesday night was teen night. We got to play this place just about every Wednesday we wanted to play. So I go to this place on a Saturday. I'd heard that a band was playing there that everybody seemed to like, or band, people spoke of. And this band was so fantastically good. I was just blown away. I'd never seen a band that good. I'd never been in the presence of a band that could be so powerful. Forget Van Halen. Forget whoever's big that's out right now. This is the band. These guys, you could not play better. You could not sing better. You could not write songs and execute those songs as well as these guys were doing it. It was as good as music could get for me. There was another little hangout, Wow Records, at the Hudson Mall, where all the kids would kind of wander. So I was at the record store, and we were talking about the band and how good that particular band was. One of my friends was a little bit older than us, a little bit more cynical. He had a little broader musical history. His dad was a professional musician. He said, yeah, that band was good, and look where they're playing. And I thought, yeah, look where they're playing. What? Look where they're playing. The same dump that I'm playing at 16, and I know I'm no good. These guys who are fantastic are playing this same place as me. And my heart broke. It really did. My eyes welled. I got choked up. I get choked up now thinking about it. I felt like at that moment, that was the end of the dream. I mean, as far as any chance of doing it in a professional level, like rock stardom, the notion of being a rock star, if they couldn't do it, I couldn't do it. That was the end of it for me. I thought, well, I'll have to do something else. This is not like baseball or hockey, where if you apply yourself and work diligently and do your level best, you advance. This is something different. You could be very good and do everything you can do and really have the entire package and go nowhere and do nothing. Steven has always been a big part of it. He plays a very prominent instrument in the mix. He's got a big presence, Steven does. He would just play that blonde telly, and he'd get up there and step on a distortion pedal and turn that amp way up and get cranking and just find the note in the key and just smash that thing like Neil Young and strangle it.
And he made a big sound. And Eddie's songs always have been sort of singer-songwriter songs. A little bit muted, a little bit empty. And as soon as Steven started to play with us, it all had a different kind of feel. He gave it a real bite, a real charge.
And it was loud and in your face and a little obnoxious and cool, because that's kind of who he was. Now, he sounds like a totally different player. He's added now in these new series of Eddy songs such a wonderful, validating, mature style of guitar playing that I can't stop complimenting him. I really can't. I mean, every single part I hear him play sounds like it's supposed to be there.
He's much more of a finesse player now. And yesterday in the studio, we were all very much impressed with the new colors that he brought to the songs.
I grew up with my grandfather, my grandparents, and he was a Pentecostal minister, a televangelist. And I never will forget one day he came in and caught me playing some music that I wasn't supposed to be playing. And he came in and grabbed the guitar, set it down, laid hands on me, and prayed for me, half the time in tongues, and then prayed that the Lord would take my soul before I went and became a rock and roll musician or played the devil's music. And immediately it became 10 times more interesting, 10 times more fascinating. And it was an escape. Some people do things that some people go out and, I don't know, start a fire or whatever, and that's what it was for me. A lot of it was the rebel part of it. Wanting to do, I'm gonna do this. And the only time anybody really ever paid attention to me growing up was when I had a guitar in my hand.
That's an old one. I like the older one better than the newer one.
Well, before we get going,
Yeah.
how's my hair look?
Oh, it's good.
My
Short, baby.
But and I don't even remember exactly how it started. It was just, you know, I got this home studio, Bob said, and just maybe we can go back and forth. And that process has what sparked my interest, and has made me look to the future and have this music and have this part of my life that I set aside. I can kind of see it on the horizon. It's something I can do for fun. And it's like coming up from, you know, when you're at the bottom of the swimming pool and you swam a little bit too long, you know, and you am I going to make it? And you make it to the top. And that's what this project kind of feels like for me.
I left the band under less than honorable circumstances. And that's something that's weighed on me over the years, because as a founder of the band, I felt like I let the other guys down when I left. So when Bob and I started talking about a reunion, my feelings were completely positive. It was as if we picked up exactly where we left off. It seemed like 5 minutes had passed.
Well, by that point, Chet had left, but we had some new songs and some shows to do, and I was already playing with Chris and Steven's band, so he fit in immediately.
In the planning stage of that, and hearing, okay, you know, Chet's on the way, and do you want to go, or that kind of thing. Of course I wanted to go. In fact, I learned another instrument just to come and have fun. I thought it would be great to be around the original Eddy lineup, and I felt honored to be sort of asked to be a part of it, even though Chet was involved in it.
Now, I had no reservations personally. I mean, even though it's been more than a dozen years since we've been together. We'd always been friends. I mean, not to say we didn't have conflict. I mean, every band has that. But musically, I had some reservations. I mean, I had always been in charge, and we had decided this was going to be a little bit different. We shared more of the songwriting. We made more of the plans together. Everyone came in on their own dime. But that first night, we got together in one of the hotel rooms and plugged in and played some of the new songs and drank some beer. And it was great. It was like we were a band again.